Content warning. This episode features personal experiences of living with long COVID. While some listeners may find aspects of this discussion difficult and triggering, we believe these stories are important to share. Listener discretion is advised.
My name is Clara and I'm 11 years old.
My name is Keris and I'm 14 years old.
My name is Caitlin and I'm 14 years old.
Hi, my name is Merel and I'm 11 years old.
Those were the voices of Clara, Keris, Caitlin and Meredith. They're long COVID kids, the subject of today's episode. Back in March, I made 2 episodes focusing on living with long COVID, and today I wanted to switch the focus to kids, children, young people living with the chronic condition. Welcome to Spare a Thought, the podcast that shines a light on the people, ideas, issues and organisations that are often overlooked or misrepresented in the media. I'm your host, Tom Spare. COVID-19 has cast a shadow over our society. We're still living in a pandemic, and there are many lessons that need to be learned from the experiences that we're going through and have gone through. The UK COVID-19 inquiry was established to examine the UK's preparedness for the response to the pandemic and to learn lessons for the future. Its scope is wide, covering healthcare, education, inequalities and the impact on children and young people. In October, the inquiry's Module 8 focused specifically on children and found a litany of failure by decision makers to prioritise children's rights and needs, often treating them only as potential virus spreaders. Crucial decisions ignored warnings and failed to consider the well-being, learning and the future of children. The evidence revealed a structural invisibility and deprioritisation of children's rights at the highest level of government, where fundamental issues like the fiasco around school closures and reopening and the lack of considerations for children's right to play were deemed secondary to other concerns. The consequences were clear. Disadvantaged children in specific groups, including those with SEND and children in poverty, suffered disproportionately. The result of that neglect are tragically quantifiable. The most recent data from the Office for National Statistics, ONS, estimates that over 111,000 children in England and Scotland have suffered long COVID, with nearly 66,000 having chronic symptoms lasting 3 months or longer. These are the children whose education, health and social lives have been fundamentally altered. For those with long COVID, this systematic failure meant critical services, research and support was slow or inadequate, leaving children like Clara, Keris, Caitlin, Meredith and Anouk, whose testimony you'll hear from soon, struggling for recognition and care. In today's episode, you'll hear the testimonies of 5 young people impacted by long COVID, and you'll also hear from Merel, the choir leader for the charity Long COVID Kids, who explains how the choir she set up brings together kids living with long COVID, offering support, friendship and hope. So let's get into it and spare a thought for long COVID kids.
Sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in a brain fog. We feel lost, often we feel overcome with frustration. No control, I feel like a normal child, like everybody else. Life's a constant roller coaster, climbing higher.
My name is Clara and I'm 11 years old. And before I had long COVID, I loved to play with people my own age and I loved to go to school. But my biggest challenge now is probably I can't go to school as much anymore, and I don't get to play with people my own age anymore, really.
My name is Keris and I'm 14 years old. I loved being active. I did 9 hours a week of clubs such as gymnastics, dance, football and horse riding, and seeing friends and going to school.
Hi, my name is Merel and I'm 11 years old. My favourite thing that I used to do before having long COVID was running and hiking. And I can't do that anymore because I'm too tired and find it hard to go out the house. The biggest challenge I have is not being able to go to school.
My name is Caitlin and I'm 14 years old. My favourite thing to do before I got long COVID was playing basketball and hockey and being active. I can no longer do any of that.
And the fifth testimony you'll hear about today is from Anouk. My name is Anouk and I'm 18. Before I got long COVID, I drew almost every day. Now I can't keep up with schooling and drawing, so I only get to draw every once in a while, now and then, when I have enough energy. The biggest challenge I have now is fatigue. No matter what I do, I have a hard stopping point. I can be having the most fun ever or doing an incredibly important task that dictates my academic future. No matter what, the fatigue stops me and I have to rest it off, otherwise my symptoms get worse and painful. These testimonies show the lasting impact of long COVID, and all these young people have been part of a choir run by Merel van der Knoop from Long COVID Kids. Here's Merel explaining how she got involved with Long COVID Kids.
When growing up, music was always around in our house due to my mum being a professional singer and singing teacher. As well as that, both my sister and myself started learning the violin from an early age. It wasn't until I was 13 that I realised I actually enjoyed playing the piano and that I wanted to pursue a career as a pianist. From that moment onwards, I worked tirelessly to get myself to that stage, which eventually led me to come to London in 2006 to study piano accompaniment at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama. After I finished my 2 master studies in 2008, I decided to stay in London to try to make a career here as a freelance accompanist and piano and singing teacher. And from then until December 2021, I had many different jobs, often at the same time, as this is what freelance musician life tends to be like. For example, I used to perform classical concerts on cruise ships together with a violinist. I was the music director of London's Transport Choir and a military wives choir here in southwest London, as well as interim head of junior music at a school in Wimbledon. Then I fell ill with COVID in December 2021, which turned into long COVID, and I was pretty much housebound and often bedbound. And it was then sort of that I started thinking about how I could put my musical skills to practice to help others who are in a similar situation as myself, and in particular actually children and young people, because as I found out through the Instagram account of the Long COVID Kids charity, there was very little to no support for this group, and that just broke my heart. So I reached out to Long COVID Kids on Instagram. I dropped them a private message and shared my idea of starting an online health and well-being choir for children and young people, and asked if they'd be interested in collaborating with me, because I felt that together we would be stronger.
Could you tell us about Long COVID Kids? How did the organisation start? What are its main aims? And what is the overall story of Long COVID Kids?
Long COVID Kids and Friends was founded by Sammy McFarland, and it is the first global charity dedicated to supporting children and young people living with long COVID. Inspired by Sammy's own and her daughter's long COVID experience, she has made it her mission to work alongside children and young people, creating platforms for their voices to shape research, policy, and healthcare. Long COVID Kids unites and supports children, young people and families living with infection-associated conditions, ensuring their voices are heard and their needs are recognised. And they provide a vital link between families and professionals, from clinicians to researchers, helping to shape understanding, services and support. So, for example, support services for the community include the choir, the online choir, but we also provide an online session for parents and caregivers called Long COVID Kids Connected. At the same time, there's also a Teens Connected, which is not the choir, but again, children and young people living with long COVID can gather online to connect with each other. And there's the Youth Advisory Panel as well. Something else Long COVID Kids has been involved in was the COVID inquiry. The charity is committed to supporting the inquiry right from the outset to ensure that the experiences of children and young people impacted by SARS-CoV-2 infection and living with long COVID are recognized and considered as part of the national investigation. The evidence was drawn on the lived experience of our team, our members, and wider community to highlight how children, young people, and their families have been affected and what needs to change now and for the future. So during the course of the inquiry, Long COVID Kids submitted a series of evidence-based reports combining first-hand accounts from our team, the case studies from families, and research conducted with the wider membership. And the submissions focused on key areas such as healthcare, education, access, caregiving, stigma barriers, financial impacts, mental health, and the challenges of navigating support systems.
Could you tell us about the Long COVID Kids Choir? How did the initiative start, and how has the choir helped the children?
The Long COVID Kids Choir started back in November 2022, and I started following social media accounts relating to long COVID. That's how I came across Long COVID Kids Charity. So I reached out to them and asked if they would be interested in running this choir together, because I really felt that together we'd be much stronger and we'd be able to reach out to many more children and young people and their families. I was very pleased when they responded really positively. And so as mentioned, we started the choir back in November 2022. And I'm really, really pleased to say that since then, it's continued to provide an accessible opportunity for children living with long COVID to connect with other children in a similar situation, because often they're housebound. They are unable to go to school. They get little to no support from school. They have lost touch with their friends. They are not able to attend clubs, whether they were during school or after school clubs, sports, you name it, anything that you'd, imagine a young person, a child to participate in and enjoy is basically just taken away from them. And not to forget that, of course, they had already gone through all the lockdowns. So that the impact of that, together with then also falling ill and not being believed, it not being recognized, not getting the support, the choir sessions provide so much beyond its musical aspect, basically. We have a WhatsApp chat as well, so that they can stay in touch with each other outside of the choir sessions, which has also provided a safe space for them to come together. And, sometimes we're in touch more than others, but we always check in with each other. And it's just been such a privilege to lead this choir, to support the children and young people and see them grow and become more confident in who they are and in terms of speaking out. And yes, of course, the singing helps with that, the breathing exercises that we do, the mindfulness, the vocal warm-ups, it all adds on, as well as that it is a safe space and they feel secure to speak out. And that was also one of the reasons why I started it, because I wanted to give them a voice, basically, because I thought, if I feel like this, like my life has been taken away from me and no one knows about it really, how must they feel? they're still so young at the start of their life, really. And this is the time they should be exploring everything. And then for everything to just been taken away so drastically, and as I said, not getting the support and not being believed, it just broke my heart. And I think also worth mentioning is that there actually are, as far as I'm aware, no other online communities for children and young people living with long COVID, apart from what Long COVID Kids offers, which is the choir and Long COVID Kids Teens Connected. I mean, I truly feel that it's a very important place, both for the families, because it also has an impact on the families, of course. If they see that their child, their son or their daughter, has found this safe space and they see how comfortable they are, and that is really reassuring.
The best thing about being in the choir is because there's people that understand the difficulties and understand like what everyone's going through, and it's like just nice to be with people that get and understand what everyone's going through.
The best thing about being choir is that I'm around people my age who understand what it's like to have this, and we get to do breathing exercises, which help, and singing, and I get to teach my BSL. Merel, the choir master, always makes us laugh, and it always makes me happy on a Sunday afterwards.
My best thing about being in choir is that I get to see other people who have long COVID.
What I love most about being in the choir is meeting new friends who understand long COVID and know how it feels. I also just love music.
Anouk, the best thing about being in the choir is the community. The feeling of being accepted and understood is so powerful when so many people don't take our illness seriously or think we're over-exaggerating. We each understand what each other are going through. If we need to recover or do not attend a session, it's okay. We'll make it when we can.
And of course, the choir sessions are of a massive support to me personally as well. It's been the one thing really that's kept me going throughout all those years. And to be honest, also the thing that kept me going when I was housebound and bedbound, just thinking about how I would be running the choir, what I would be doing, really sort of gave me something to look forward to, almost like a reason to exist. Because, when you're suddenly faced with a chronic illness and you cannot work anymore and your social life is just taken away, there's not much left, really. So to then keep yourself mentally stable is really, really challenging. So having this choir and having the thoughts about the choir have been a lifeline.
My favourite song to sing is, we're currently doing The Web of Life in choir, and I've really enjoyed doing that one. It's all about wildlife, and I often teach the other choir members the BSL sides to our songs, so I've enjoyed doing that.
My favourite song to sing is Happy Birthday, because it often means you get cake.
I like to sing lots of different songs, but one of my favourites is I Love You, I'm Sorry by Gracie Abrams.
My favourite songs to sing is probably Christmas songs, because I just find them so cheerful and they always put me in a good mood.
Anouk, my favourite song to sing is City of Stars from La La Land.
And the sessions itself have given me so much joy, and I've learned a lot as well. Not only about topics that we've been discussing, space, for example, is a big topic. Wildlife the other day, we had a guest speaker, Jamie Smart, who came to a session to talk about wildlife photography and spiders. And now we know so much about spiders and we love them. So, I try to make it educational for both the children and young people and myself.
Tell us about the kids you support. Have they taught you anything profound about life and living with a long-term health condition?
They teach me to listen to my body, basically, and that it's okay to take a step back and not push yourself through a crash. To honor your feelings, but also to stand up for yourself in regard to recognizing your feelings, but also in regard to speaking out beyond our choir about what it is like to have long COVID and to raise awareness. And it's because of them that I've been able to dive a bit more deeper into the advocacy world, really. Yeah, I feel really, as I said, privileged and honoured to work with them. And I really hope that one day we'll be able to meet all together in person. I'm crossing my fingers, although we're sort of spread out across continents as well. So not sure how that will take part. But it's a dream, basically, that I'm working on.
If you could give one piece of advice or send a message of hope to a family who's just received a long COVID diagnosis for their child, what would it be?
You are not alone. We, long COVID kids and friends, and our community of families, we are here for you. We're fighting for you, ourselves, and anyone else. And we offer a safe space.
The guidance from Merel is invaluable for any family just starting this journey. Reach out to long COVID kids. There's support available. But while the parents are grappling with supporting the children themselves are simply navigating their lives day after day, trying to find moments of peace amidst the pain. We wanted to know what that truly feels like, what they do when the fatigue is overwhelming or the pain is too much. So I asked them, what is one small thing you do on a hard day that helps you feel a little better?
One small thing that I do on a hard day is probably art, because I love doing it, and it's kind of like just a way that I can kind of just, I don't know, express my feelings or something, I guess.
Knoop. When a day is really hard, I like to listen to calm music that I love while I lay down and recover.
I cuddle my guinea pig, Snowy, or I text friends. Sometimes I might do a little craft or I'll watch a show.
Sometimes when I'm having a hard day, I play the guitar or ukulele to make myself feel a bit better.
What helps me feel better on a hard day is cuddling with my cat, because they're nice and relaxing for me.
Those are some of the examples of how long COVID kids manage the tough days. As a follow-up, I asked them to imagine they had a magic wand, and with that, granted 3 wishes. 1 for themselves, 1 for their family or friends, and 1 for us, the people listening. What would they wish for? Knoop. I wish for my recovery from long COVID. I wish that life got better for all of my family and friends. And for the people listening, I hope your life gets better as well.
If I could grant 3 wishes, I would wish for myself to be better, I would wish for my family to get better too, and I would wish for people listening to this podcast. I hope that this isn't a waste of their time.
So people listening to this, I really want people to learn about the condition, and because it is very hard to live with, and learn about how they can help us, best support us, living with it, and just a bit about it, because if people even just try to understand what we're going through, it does help a lot.
If I had 3 wishes, my first wish would probably be that I could find there would be a cure for long COVID, or at least I'd be able to manage it better so I can do the things that I love. And my second wish would probably be for schools and doctors to understand better, so my parents and other children with long COVID don't have to battle with them, to have the things that are needed and that help us actually be able to attend school and be able to feel better. And my third wish for the people that are listening would probably be for them to understand that it's a real thing and it's hard to manage, and that for them to have some happiness and spread happiness to everyone.
Those wishes for better health, for more understanding, are what the charity Long COVID Kid works to achieve every day. While we can't grant them the wishes magically, we can provide real support. Merel from Long COVID Kids joins us for one final time to explain how listeners can help turn these wishes into reality.
In terms of supporting us, I'd say that supporting the charity, you can do through many different ways, really. The start would be by following the charity on social media and resharing, retweeting, reposting their posts, so that your friends, family find out about us, really. Another way of supporting is by supporting the fundraisers that we do and that other people do for us. Another big one is donations. They are always very, very welcome, especially at the moment with the big give going on. And you can find all about that on the Long COVID Kids website. There's lots of information on there about how to support us. And I guess also word of mouth, and definitely bringing up COVID and long COVID in conversations so that people are aware that this is an ongoing issue. It's not going away. We have to face it. I think I better move on to how you can support the choir. And that is the same. Give us a follow on social media and repost our videos and our songs. Have a listen to the song that we composed together with a very young, a very talented young singer-songwriter called Frankie Morland. We composed this back in November last year, or at least it was released back in November last year. And it is a song about what it is like to live with long COVID and how the choir supports us. So the song is called Roller Coaster. And I think in that song, you can really hear and get an understanding of what the children and young people are going through. To tell people about our sessions, we meet every Sunday at 5 p.m. UK time. So that's it's fairly accessible also to children and young people living in different countries. So we've had children from the Netherlands, we have children joining us from the US, from France. So yeah, we're really reaching out beyond borders, basically, because COVID does not observe borders, of course. Yes, and share this podcast so that people get listening to this podcast interview, for which I'm very grateful that we've been able to make this happen. So thank you, Tom. It's really much appreciated, both from my side as well as from the Choir Kids and Long COVID Kids charity too.
And this has been Spare a Thought, Long COVID Kids. My thanks to Clara, Keris, Caitlin, Meredith, Anouk and Merel, as well as Long COVID Kids. The music for this episode was Roller Coaster by the Long COVID Kids Choir. Lyrics by the Long COVID Kids Choir and Frankie Morland. Music by Frankie Morland. And the choir leader was Merel van der Knoop. Spare a Thought is a Be the Change Media Network production. I'm Tom Spare. This has been Spare a Thought, Long COVID Kids. Thanks for listening.
Sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in a brain fog. We feel lost, often we feel overcome with frustration. No control, I feel like a normal child, like everybody else. Rides a constant roller coaster, climbing higher on the belt. climbing high.